Taurus babies, what's happening? This is EJ from Taurota Tarot. I hope everybody is staying safe and not going bananas because you're still sitting in the house. I'm finishing up shuffling these cards here. I shuffled the big deck already, getting ready to cut those up. 2 more shuffles. So this is going to be for Taurus and Aries, April, May 2020. Let me get my housekeeping out the way. Thank you to everyone that has liked, shared, and subscribed. I love you so much, and I appreciate you so much. If you have not done so, please feel free. And drum rolls, please. Brrr. Taurota Tarot has a Facebook page now, so this is where you will get a chance to see me just clown, because I clown on Facebook. I just do. But there on the Facebook page, if you search in Facebook for Taurota Tarot, you can make comments there. All of this information will be on Facebook. So readings will post first to YouTube and then to Facebook. I'm going to give readings about 24 hours on YouTube before I actually go back and put them up. So there are 3 or 4 videos over on Facebook now. If you have not seen the Taurus Weekly or Taurus and Scorpio, they are also on Facebook. So Facebook, you can also schedule an appointment. So there's a whole little thing there. You'll see it. If you want to schedule a reading, we can do that. What else we got going on? Taurus and Aries, y'all look like you may be kind of going through some things right now. And it feels like it's got more to do because y'all are, so this ain't going to resonate with everybody. But it feels like you guys are, what's the correct word? Maybe paying attention more because you're in closer quarters, if you're quarantined together or in the house together, or just limiting your outside activity. And so, yeah. I want to say Taurus's head is in one place, Aries' head is in somewhere else, looking at the overall energy, and this is coming from the Taurus perspective. So if you're cross-watching Aries, this is the primary for Taurus in a relationship with Aries, but I'm looking at that overall energy, those 2 red cards, indicative of what Taurus is feeling and trying to do, movement, choices, and decisions based on what's going on with their Aries. Material harvest based on what's going on in your relationship with your Aries. And so just what the fuck, and there it is, patience and planning. But it feels like y'all are at odds somewhat, if that's the way I want to put this. And that this is sitting as your centerpiece and your challenge. Probably no mistake. You're missing that synchronicity. Let's see what the little cards have to say. So on movement, choices, and decisions, we get the Ace of Wands. Material harvest pulls the Hangman. Power pulls the Justice card. That showed up 3 or 4 times while I was shuffling. Physical activity pulls the 2 of Wands. Discontent and boredom pulls the 7 of Swords. And a reminder, I do my cards straight up. I don't do reversals. Leadership pulls the Ace of Cups. Synchronicity. See, y'all are into, Taurus is on the money. Aries is on something else. Victory and success pulls the Devil card. Financial discipline pulls the Empress. Compassion pulls the Princess of Swords. Patience and planning pulls the Star card. So the Star card showed up while I was shuffling. I think the 7 of Swords did, and definitely the Justice. So how do I say this? Because this is that energy that's kind of you're noticing things about each other because, like I said, activity is slowed down. So again, this is not going to resonate with everybody. Eat the fish, leave the bones, as grandmama used to say. Movement, choices, and decisions. It's just fire. And Taurus is trying to navigate through all this doggone fire energy. Taurus, you're trying to see you're trying to see where the gaps are in the relationship. Let me put it that way. From a creative perspective, I think, Taurus, you're feeling like there are a lot of things you could be doing, that awe and wonder type shit. Different things you could be doing, but it feels like movement, choices, and decisions down there is tangled up with what your Aries wants to do, and it feels like your Aries is just like, you know what, fuck it. I don't want to do none of this shit. I just want to go run around, and that's the feeling. It feels like Aries wants to just get out. The imagery that came to mind, because it feels like Aries is just the confinement. Anybody just trying to cut any fire energy and tell it to go sit still somewhere. You go light a fire and see how how long it sits still before it consumes whatever it is. So Taurus, here, I think you realize this already. You need to kind of change not just your perspective, but your approach to how you're dealing with this right now. At the end of the day, it's about the material. It's the material harvest, and what you're doing with your money, what you're doing with your resources, and how you're applying this as it relates to your relationship. Looking at the recent past, there was something here. It may have been legal. It doesn't have to be. It could have been just something that you changed if you were working. For some of you, this is about work. If you were working somewhere, there's been a shift in the balance. Let's just put it like that. And you see that that's Leo, but nonetheless, the still fire sign, Aries. There's been a power shift in your relationship, and depending on what went on here, because whatever went on, if Taurus, if you lost your gig or you got downsized or laid off or put out or whatever, that in a way was not as crushing a blow to you personally as it could have been. I think some of y'all were just generally tired, like, fuck it, I need a break. But in that came a power shift. Now, it could be in the reverse. Aries could have lost something. Truthfully, it could be both of you have lost, jobs have changed, working from home, and now I'm beginning to hear companies, in order to stay open, now they want to cut everybody's salary and all this kind of carrying on. So there's a shift. There's a shift in power. When that dynamic happens, when you have especially one where you can just see it, somebody graduates from college and they go get a 6-figure job, and you still at, Starbucks doing the barista thing. It's just kind of like that. For whatever reason, like I said, if you lost your gig or they downsized or whatever, there's been a shift. And in that dynamic, like I said, for Taurus, even if it wasn't you that lost something, whatever happened, you kind of like, good, do something else. And in some regards, it's bringing things in the relationship back to balance. But if you've been out of balance for a while, this is recent past. So we can go back as far as the beginning of the year with some of this. Some of you may have been changing or switching or losing gigs before Corona, anything. And so this is the recent past, but the dynamic is very strong. So I know you're still feeling this. But like I said, for Taurus, it feels like, y'all like, finally, somebody get a break. Good, great. But it's in doing all of this, it's actually kind of brought the relationship back into balance. But it feels like some of y'all have been out of balance for so long. This feels like a complete and total 360-degree change. Trust me, when you come back into balance, if you've been out of balance for any extended amount of time, which can happen. People act like, being out of balance is something, people just immediately recognize it. Not always. Especially if you've been on the grind. Most of us are off of that grind right now. You get up, you got to be at work at 7:30 or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and you gone all day till 5, 4, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. And it's a grind if you want to stay on schedule. If you don't want to wake up late the next morning, you got to have your ass in the bed by 11 o'clock. Come on, work with me. You can miss all kind of shit going on at home. You just can. It's not anybody's fault one way or the other. You just been busy working. And if you want to throw kids into that mix, now we talking about a whole different kind of thing, because you got that energy to contend with as well. At the end of the day, it's bringing things back into balance. Like I said, some of you may have had a legal hoo-ha, and whatever the judgment was for that, again, it brought things back into balance. But if it's been out of balance for so long, it may feel like a complete and total just tear up. Physical activity, going back to the drawing board. For some of you, Taurus, talking to you, hello, this is about you, the recent past. You know, you've been doing so much manifesting, trying to manifest the good things in a relationship, and at some point it just brought you right back to this Two of Wands, and that initial creator starting, rethinking, tweaking, adjusting, touching up type shit. But because you've been so physically active, it's recent past, we're not talking about right this minute, you may have missed some details. You may have missed some details, so put that there. At the end of the recent past, with the discontent and boredom, sometimes this part, the discontent, is just being bored in the situation overall. Damn coronavirus and some other shit. Just overall, some of you may have been feeling like this before we got to the point of can't nobody go nowhere. Which here brings us to this. And Taurus, this is about you right here. Thinking that maybe there have been conversations or things going on behind your back. So you see, you got your back to everything, the swords, them, everything. That maybe there were things going on while you've been busy working, and not necessarily bad things. This is not always about, you know, relationship and somebody, other people, and maybe even your partner. You know, again, y'all been busy grinding, that power shift, working, doing whatever, and so, you know, things happen when you are out of areas, and not maliciously, you know, but people, when they're bored, and when they're discontent, when they're not happy with their shit, a lot of times they will jump into your shit and create some more shit. So this is really resonating back to other people, Taurus, around your relationship. So this could be in-laws, this could be friends, this could be neighbors, and them just, you know, running their mouth about stuff they don't know. Well, I thought you bought a new car, that kind of shit. Well, you had a new hose over there in the yard the other, that kind, just nosy, all up in your shit. And for some of you, this may be about your partner. You know, well, you knew these people were over here talking about the hose, why you let them steal it? That kind of stuff. While it seems trite and trivial, it would be just enough to send you just right back shit over the bridge over some dumb shit because you can't believe, you know, well, baby, I told you not to say nothing to the neighbors. That kind of energy. I told you not to tell your mama that kind of energy. And so in your head, Taurus, you may be thinking, you know, a lot of this is just, you know, backstabbing, cheating, you wasn't being faithful to me type shit. Not in a romantic sense, but more in a intellectual sense. You said what to your mama about me? Really? Why you tell your brother all that? That kind of energy. Out of discontent and boredom, no less. And so to you, it may feel like, you know, everybody is, or everybody was, because for a lot of you, this is past tense. Some of you may still be going through a little bit of this, but it may feel like it's bigger than it actually is. Let's put it there. So understand that this is air energy, and yes, while the actual thing may have happened, your partner, your husband, your wife may have been talking to the neighbors about getting a new fence, a new car, a new whatever, and you're going, baby, why the hell you tell it? Now, when you walk out the door, you looking sideways at the neighbors like, that kind of energy. Which brings us to our current energy. I'm talking about leadership. And so this is not just for job. This is across the board. Even in going back to this discontent and boredom, it may be a thing where you may just have to take the lead, Taurus. I know it's red and it looked like it should go to Aries. You may have to take the lead from your Aries. Come on, talking about that power shift. Because a lot of times, financially, you can make a power, that dynamic changes. But then it also changes in other places. So if you're making the money, Aries, if you're cross-watching, that might mean Taurus now needs to take a leadership position at home. Coming back to that. And so I don't care what he told you. That's not what we're doing. And he's not here. You may have to take the leadership role. For others of you, this may be about your partner, your Aries, stepping into a job that requires them to be gone a little more. It's all about that new shit though. So this is a change of direction. Again, that shift, that power shift. So it could be vice versa. It could be Aries is now the one at home and the Taurus is gone doing whatever. You got to deal with the neighbors, Aries, or the in-laws, or the kids, or whoever it is. That's what this is about. But it's about that leadership one way or the other. Whoever hasn't been doing it is doing it now. So Taurus, if you haven't been in a leadership position at home, taking care of the house because you've been working and that's changed since this pandemic, then there's your shift. There you go. But the underline to this is that in that change, Taurus wants to do one thing, Aries wants to do another thing, and in order to get to the 10, ding, 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 and to start seeing the abundance and the happy ending type shit to whatever it is you're trying to do, you're going to have to get, this is your challenge for the next 4 weeks, to find that spot of synchronicity between the two of you, Taurus, between you and your Aries. We want to pick colors. Say bull is the royal purple and the Aries is the red salmony pinkish color. There you go. But you got to find that synchronicity, which for Taurus, this is going to be difficult because it's about letting go. You want to dominate and control. Once again, talking about that power dynamic shifting. The shit just changing. You may not like it, but you're going to have to let go. Even if you're the one in control now. If you're the one bringing home the money. You might have to let go of what the details are so you can find those moments of synchronicity where things just come together naturally. If you are busy pulling, this is either one of y'all, Taurus or Aries. You're busy pulling and fighting and trying to cut shit up, burn shit up. I'm just saying. And this is not so much physical as it is just your behaviors. If you just are bumping into each other with crazy shit, both of you take a step back and let go. And let the synchronicity start happening. Once you do that, there you go. You'll be in full triple spades, aces, kings, and hearts. But it's only if you're willing to let go enough to let it happen. It will happen. But if you're trying to Mickey Mouse it all the way to the end, every detail, every little thing, and how come this and why that, you're going to miss it. Period. I can't put nothing else on that. You're going to miss it. So let the moments of synchronicity come, and that's probably the theme for Aries and Taurus for the month of April and May. Just back up enough. You know you're making choices about things and money and how things are going to go now, trying to get that material harvest, changing that perspective, just changing your whole way of doing it, and then letting go and letting that happen so you can be all on top of this. Do not get fucked up with karmic shit. I'm gonna say it one more time. Do not get fucked up with karmic shit. Do not get into disagreements and arguments and bullshit either with each other or other people that's going to tie you up karmically. And this is major energy, so you know it may sound stupid and some other shit, but trust and believe this is what's going on. If you get into some karmic shit where you know you done said something, now somebody feel like they got to do something back, that petty shit, this right here one more time, you're going to miss this. We come right back here. Finding those moments of synchronicity without getting into a whole lot of who said, shot John, whatever. And for some of you, this means tightening up on your spiritual practices right now, because when you are spiritually in tune, synchronicity comes without you even having to ask for it. It just shows itself up and like, whoa, wow, that's crazy. Yeah. But if you get caught up and see, this is long-running, long-standing, long-term implications right here of getting caught up. Usually this is more romantically inclined. The energy here is wide open. So, you know, if you want to get into a pissing match, we go with this shit. There's no mistake in sitting on top of it. You want to get into a pissing match with your neighbors about, you know, your yard and your hose and your axe and your tree and whatever. That's going to be long running, and that's going to keep you, it's going to just block it. You ain't even going to know there's victory and success there. It's just going to block it because you're going to be too busy dealing with this dumb shit. When we get to current or future energy, I'm sorry. Isn't she lovely? Sitting on her little swan. But this is not just about you, Taurus. This is about the household collective. In order to, and this is more major energy and got some long tendrils going through it. In order for you to maintain the values, that's what old girl is talking about right here. The values of the collective. Y'all gonna have to tighten it up. Y'all gonna have to tighten it up. Financial discipline. Here's that tug of war I'm feeling between Aries and Taurus. Taurus, just off the rip, is going to want to be more practical about, well, we need a new driveway, and that's going to cost $5,000. I think probably more to the tune of 30 if I'm telling the truth. You want to get your whole driveway repaved, or you want to get a new engine. Your partner may want to put a new engine in a car. You know, some newfangled lawnmower that costs $800. Trying to build a grill in the backyard. You know, household collective values. That's what we're dealing with right here, and getting that down to financial discipline. What does the household need, and what does the household value as a whole, and how can we do this within our means? I don't know who I'm talking to, but I know some of y'all going, how she know that? Yeah, that part right there. So it's going to be a balancing act once again, and this is to both of you, Aries and Taurus. Say your piece, shut the fuck up, sit down, and let this happen. Well, I think it need to be a $30,000 driveway, and we just have to get it financed. I don't think it need to be financed. We're going to go into debt. Okay, say your piece, sit down, shut the fuck up, and let this happen. Once you throw that energy out into the universe, it hears you. Taurus don't want to spend 30. Aries don't care about getting the 30. They just want the driveway looking luscious. Throw it out there. And then let the universe work with the two of you. So you can have this shit. And so nobody is feeling like they got less than. Come on now. And you still got some money in the damn bank. Ooh. Just saying. We come past that. When you get through with all of this, because this ain't going to go on forever. All this fussing and petty shit. Taurus, show some compassion. I'm going to put that on you. Show some compassion. Everything is not all the time. And everything doesn't need to be ground to all the time. A class doesn't have to be taught all the time. So get out your head with the little fucked up ass scenarios you're creating. I want to just forget all of that and get to this. Just get to the compassion. And I know when things get like this, like they are now, where you're uncertain, and this is not just in America, this is everywhere. You don't know, if the markets are going to collapse or who's going to die, some other bullshit. Y'all hear me? It is easy to start creating the end of the world scenario right up in your head. But this ain't going to work. And y'all know. Just skip all that and get to this. Show compassion where you need to show compassion. Taurus, especially if you're dealing with in-laws and them outside peripheral folks, y'all ain't invite us over to dinner. Okay, it's a pandemic. We can't invite you over for dinner. We still love you. You may have to go above and beyond, Taurus. I'm just saying. You may have to stretch it. And we come right back to this leadership. You might have to just run point on some shit. Okay, you know good and well we can't have all them people over here Easter Sunday. Y'all know this. We can't do this. You may have to just run it and remind folks what's going on. Again, don't be all up in your head creating the scenarios. Deal with things as they come, but make sure you show compassion. At the end of all of this, you will see your patience and planning, and especially if you continue, and this is why I'm saying driveway and car and shit. This ain't the patience car, the little dude looking all sad and kind of half happy and hopeful and shit. No, this ain't that one. This is this one. This is that material shit, resources, driveways, cars, boats, that kind of shit. Continue planning. Continue working on it. Don't just throw your hands up. I feel like some of you just cool like, fuck it. I can't. Again, come back to your challenge. Letting that synchronicity just... The number is 87, and this is what comes to mind about synchronicity. And those of you that have ever been on this, you'll know. You ever been on a roller coaster and it's going up, but you know for like 2.2 milliseconds, it'll feel like it's moving backwards, and then it takes off. There you go. That's the minute the thing starts going backwards, in that millipede of a second between you going forward and backwards, there's a point of where you ain't holding on to nothing because you don't know what's going on. And that's the point. That is the point exactly. Synchronicity. Let it happen. Let it happen. I know that's easier said than done, especially when it comes to money and resources and abundance and happy endings and knowing shit's going to be okay. But you may have to take a leadership role. And again, it's about, this is what needs to happen. Let's just do it. Making them hopes, wishes, and dreams happen without getting overly, there's a hint of this. Don't get too laid back. Keep them things you got up in the air, those goals, keep them in sight. Don't just, take the synchronicity and just go take a nap. No, it's about being present without trying to control everything so this can happen. But the converse of that, don't get too, that's all right, I'm not going to do nothing. Don't pay attention. Pay attention. Don't lose sight of your goals. You get complacent. But it happens. Just continue with the patience and planning. Again, kind of let go of some of the petty shit, the arguing. I hear y'all fussing. I don't know what you're doing that for. It's just that energy. And a lot of it has more to do with the fact that y'all are in the house together than anything. So just know that part. And you probably are getting on each other's nerves. I get it. But don't lose sight of the love. Don't lose sight of what you're trying to do. And do as much as you can do without going overboard. That financial discipline piece. Do as much as you can do without going overboard. Let's see what the granny cards got to say. Well, and that been the topic of the conversation. Watch your money. Watch your money. Watch your money. We put that right down here with financial discipline. Watch your money. Whatever it is that you're thinking about doing. It feels like some of you have come into, going back to the recent past, some kind of judgment maybe. It could even be stimulus money. I don't know. But watch your money. Watch where you're putting it. Make sure you ain't spending it all in one place. Put some away for a rainy day. Just because they said it doesn't make it true. Put that right up here. Them neighbors, them in-laws who are discontent and bored like the rest of us because they stuck in the house and running their mouth about shit they don't know. Just because they said it doesn't make it true. Know that part. Know that part. So, and there's a lot of busybodies running around here now because they ain't got no busy to body with. And so they just creating shit out the air. Just know that. Just know that. And take everything with a grain of salt. You Taurus, yes. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't let something somebody says put your shit in jeopardy with your partner. Don't let that happen. Just don't let that happen. Ooh. Okay, virtually. You just add that in there. Virtually. Go hang with your friends. You may need to step away. Taurus, this is for you. You may need to go step away from your little red hot fire sign, all that red. Go hang with your friend. Go Google Hangout or Facebook or Messenger or whatever you do for a few minutes and just get your head out of that. The delay is your friend. So whatever's holding up, whatever projects y'all are trying to manifest, get going, just know not being able to move right in this moment, that's to your benefit. Let's see where we at. Taurus, use your intuition. Exercise your vibes. Pay attention to what's going on. That's going to bring me right back up here with other folks. And getting into your head about shit. Expanding shit that don't need expanding. I'm just saying. Exercise your vibes. Use your intuition. It will guide you where you need to go. It'll also help you say what you need to say. It'll also keep you from saying something you don't need to say. So just pay attention to your intuition and know that it's not going to steer you wrong. See the solution. So whatever you're working on, whatever this patience and planning in the future, you know, you get there. Don't lose sight. Like I said, don't lose sight of your goals. Don't be like, okay, she said synchronicity. So don't, okay, yeah, I did. But don't lose sight of your goals. Sometimes we can, you know, lay back too much. See the solution. See it. And work towards it. One more card. At the end of the day, call on your angels. They are here for a reason. Call on your angels if you need help. Just calming yourself down, getting out of the anxiety and putting your head in a better place. Call on your angels. I'm going to leave it here, Taurus and Aries. I love you guys. I hope y'all have a good weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.